Good evening, everybody. I'm going to try to speed things up a bit. I know it's been a long evening, and I thank you all for your forbearance. I want to first thank Dean Thomas Ferris for the dynamic leadership that he's exhibited in bringing a lot of us alumni back to the institution. It's been a long time being away from the school, and I'm really proud to be a part of it once again, and honored to be here tonight. So I thank the school and the faculty for this great honor. I'm humbled as I look back over the 7 years of who else has won the award. One of the things I take away from tonight is I look at Bill's presentation and I look at the remarkable accomplishments of some of the fellow award recipients, is that the people that have succeeded are the people that have tapped into their passion. They have tapped into something that they find extraordinarily captivating. And I think those of us who have a chance to do it, regardless of whether it's in the field of cellular technology or antennas, or in my case, in the world of software and IT, to get up every morning and go to work and feel like you're playing is the greatest gift of all. So I feel very, very fortunate to have had the chance to do what I've done. So what I'd like to do just very quickly is talk about the classic entrepreneurial journey. Not just mine, but the journey of many others that I've had a chance to work with over the years. Students of mine, people whose boards I've had the privilege of serving on, people who I've mentored. And I hope their stories inspire you as much as they inspire me each and every day. And my hope is it might just give us a different perspective on what it might be like to take entrepreneurship to the next level here at Rutgers and at the School of Engineering. Just a show of hands, how many people in the room have been or are currently entrepreneurs today? People that are either running their own businesses. And I love it that Tom's hand is up, okay? Because quite frankly, to be an entrepreneur is not necessarily what you do, it's how you do it. It's the mindset you bring to the work that you have on your plate. So if we can go forward, please. So when I left here back in '83, Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard, two remarkable men, were running a company that bared their name. And in the very first year that Fortune magazine started their Most Admired Company in America award, Hewlett Packard was that company. And it was just a dream to go work for Bill and Dave. Those guys earned every accolade that had ever been given to them. They truly were remarkable engineers, remarkable business people, and they were remarkable entrepreneurs. And they built a phenomenal company that were innovation machines. So I was very fortunate to have had the chance to go west and to rotate through Silicon Valley when Steve Jobs was just launching his first Mac computer, and when so many great names that we know today in history were making their mark on society. So yes, I did go west, and I had an amazing time. It was a very interesting time. So Bill showed us some of the very first IBM computers, and I was drawn to the next phase of disruptive innovation when Hewlett Packard was bringing the microcomputer, literally the engineering workstation, very early versions of a workstation that had Unix on it, to compete against, at that time, the incumbent DEC that had disrupted IBM from the prior generation. And so HP was looking for newly minted mechanical engineers to help them compete with DEC in the world of mechanical CAD and electronic CAE. And we built an extraordinary multi-billion-dollar business very quickly and really became the new guard in computing. Next slide. So, you know, it was with some heaviness that I wound up leaving New Jersey, leaving the beautiful Jersey Shore, leaving my beloved Giants, although I still root for them to this day, even though I'm in Boston, and lucky to be here with my life after the last two Super Bowls. But if we go to the next slide, but it was the classic experience of migrating to find a better way. And I wound up taking that journey to the Valley. Obviously, Sergey Brin left Russia to head up Google. Jerry Yang left Taiwan to go to the Valley to have Yahoo. Pierre Omidyar to do eBay. It's a classic journey. Okay, and how many of you recognize this gentleman whose two parents, who were engineers, wound up in Silicon Valley? Now, you probably would recognize him more with the New York Knickerbockers number 17 on his chest, but this is our good friend Jeremy Lin. Okay, so the migration journey is a powerful one, and I'm a product of it, as many of you in the room are. Next slide. But as I observed the most recent recruiting season, it forced me to reflect a little bit. Okay, and obviously I saw that the next generation has the best of both worlds. So if we go to the next slide, Darius Hamilton, the most recruited, defensive lineman in the country. He was looking at going to Miami, and we're all very proud to know that he actually came to Rutgers. So the top recruit in the country, and certainly the best recruiting class we've ever had as a university. This guy doesn't have to make the trade-off. He gets to go to school in his home state, hang out with his family, hang out with his friends, and go to a great institution. So if we go to the next slide. New Jersey is known for a lot of things. And my son Zachary, I hesitate to say, actually watches Jersey Shore, God forbid, and allows these poor people to perpetuate season after season. Okay? But we're also known for this guy. And Terry, it was a pleasure having you here tonight. I have so much respect for Mr. Springsteen as an artist, as a performer, as a poet, and as a man, and as an activist. Okay? And thank God we're known for this guy. Keep going if you will. And more recently, in the first ever crowdsourced Moment of the Year in Sports Illustrated, and the remarkable courage and resilience of Eric LeGrand, we're known more for moments like this. And of course, anybody in the Canyon a few weeks ago knows that repeatedly we're known for this. But I ask you, there's one more build if you would, why not this? Okay? Why not this? And so if we go to the next slide, again, my message here tonight is really a message about not just entrepreneurship as I've known it for the last 20 years, entrepreneurship in building companies from a clean sheet of paper and trying to solve an unmet need in the market, but the entire mindset and philosophy of entrepreneurship and the way that we approach what we do. So increasingly we're seeing an open innovation culture. And it would also be remarkable if I wasn't able to say this, but Regina Dugan, who's the director of DARPA, has brought an open innovation culture to DARPA. Who would have ever guessed that one of the most classified environments in the world is relying more and more on outside innovation to drive the next generation of systems? IBM runs, IBM runs their Global Smart Camp. They're really trying to tap into the entrepreneurial creativity and energy around the world. One of my neighbors runs an innovation group for Procter & Gamble. And her message is, we can no longer rely on the big iconic incumbents. We can't do business anymore with the IBMs and the Hewlett-Packards, even though they're remarkable companies. And she spends her time traveling the globe, talking to entrepreneurs and venture capitalists everywhere around the world to be able to deliver the next level of competitive advantage that P&G needs to run their businesses. GE with their Eco Imagination Challenge. So there's such an incredible change in the way that we're doing business from the old not invented here syndrome that I was born into. Okay? All of these open innovation platforms, GrabCAD, a company that I had the privilege of mentoring, 2 Estonian mechanical engineers I had a chance to introduce to Alberto to, maybe bring more of an open design innovation culture into the senior design project. Now they've got the largest community of engineers in the world within a year. Okay? And every organization, whether it be an NGO, a nonprofit, or a foundation, more and more you're seeing an entrepreneurial mindset in the way that people are trying to do business. So we all remember what it was like just a few short years ago. This was the busiest place in town on a Friday or Saturday night. Now the one in my town is a dog store, right? They basically are a pet store. They sell pet food. So we know what disruptive innovation looks like. If you saw the paper today, Hewlett-Packard is seeing a huge decline in its business because it's the only product line that's been its saving grace for the last many years is its printer line. And because everyone is sharing their photographs on Facebook, that nobody needs to print out on their printers anymore their photographs. So there's no one in this room, I don't care what organization you're in, that is immune from the forces of creative destruction. It's happening quicker every single day. Okay? Every single industry is subjected to it. Okay? So here's an entrepreneur that I'm sure you all recognize. Facebook now has 800 million users. Americans spend about 100 billion minutes a month on Facebook, if you can even imagine that. But of course, it's okay when we lose engineers to Silicon Valley. We're going to see that happen forever. It is the center of our universe when it comes to software entrepreneurship. The fact that he's able to give $100 million to public schools in the city of Newark is a great thing. Okay? This is another gentleman who also left New Jersey, and although I doubt many people would recognize his face, he's had a remarkable impact on the world and as a mentor to me. So Bill Warner grew up in Millburn, New Jersey. He suffered a tragic accident when he was in his early childhood, and he's been paralyzed from the waist down ever since. Despite that, he has a phenomenally positive attitude. He has started 7 companies. The most noteworthy is a company called Avid. Avid is a company that today almost every Academy Award nominee that was put on the slate has used Avid for high-end video editing. Bill and his company won 2 Academy Awards, one in 1993 and 1997. He is a remarkable mentor.